Hey, greetings. It's the Christo Witch, and today I kind of wanted to discuss the King James Bible. This is my King James Bible, and its use by pagans and the occult in its occult history and so forth. I personally only use the King James Bible for spellbook, just because it's hard to read, but I find that the poetic nature of the King James Bible helps you move into an alpha state or a altered state of consciousness just by reading it aloud in ritual. Like I said, I work with Psalms magic and stuff like that, so it's a very big part of my path, the Psalms. And the King James Bible I find is the most powerful translation of the Bible to use in your spellbook, just because of the way that it's worded. It helps you slip into the altered state of consciousness simply by reading the Bible aloud. What I also would like to discuss is some history of the King James Bible, which a lot of people don't actually know, is that the authorized King James Bible, as the Protestants like to call it, it actually says in one of the authorized King James Bible, but it was authorized translation was authorized by who was named after King James. So just let's start with King James. First off, King James, who by his friends were called Queen James because of his because he was, I guess, best way to say it, he was just a homosexual, and so he was involved in that kind of life, which is, of course, I am too, so I don't really have an issue with it, but people at that time did. But you'll find that the reason why it's called the authorized is because the way the Church of England was set up, I'm not sure if it's still set up as the way the Anglican Church of England, the king was considered the mediator between other Christians and God. Literally, the way the Church of England, the bishops and the king and stuff, as when they broke from Rome, the Pope was considered that mediator. For this very reason, many Puritans, who later on migrated to the Americas, refused to use the King James Bible because they felt that by using the King James Bible, you were endorsing, that view, and that since the Anglican and Church of England had so much what they considered Catholicism and occultism still and paganism added into it, you were literally inviting that into your house by simply owning the King James Bible. So the other thing I found that the King James Bible actually has a familiar spirit attached to it. And what do I mean by this? This familiar spirit, of course, would be the monarchy or spirits of that in as a mediator type spirit. So when you use the authorized King James Version, you are authorizing these familiar spirits to communicate on your behalf. And so when you use it for anything, just reading from it or prayer and stuff, you're actually, it's an old occult tradition that it actually will speed up your spell work because of the familiar spirit that's attached to the King James Bible. So little Christian magic history there. Another reason why a lot of occultists like to use the King James Bible is because bits of Kabbalah has been added to it. An instance would be in the book of Matthew to the Lord's Prayer. The original Lord, in the King James Version, at the end of it says, "For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen." This is a phrase straight out of Kabbalah. It's not found in the original text. It was actually added to the text. It's because it was a common addition to the prayer at the time. When they translated it, they simply added it right to the text, to align with that Kabbalah nature. And you'll find a lot of Kabbalah added, believe it or not, into the King James Bible in different phrases and so forth. So when you use the King James Bible, you should understand that there is a familiar spirit attached to the book itself because it was authorized through that, use of energy exchange. And like I said, in most occult traditions, such as old occult traditions like New Orleans Voodoo, Obia, and many of the African Caribbean faiths, for whatever reason, even though they have a heavy Catholic background, which doesn't use the King James Bible, a lot of them will stop using the King James Bible because it speeds up their magic requests. So, I don't know if you can verify a lot of this. I think some of it you can probably find on the internet and by talking to other Christian practitioners who have experienced the idea of using the King James in their magic. So I hope it was a blessing. Blessed be.